Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Mama Kay coming at you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada in my home studio with somebody that I met many moons ago playing in band together. And I feel so lucky that every once in a while we seem to reconnect. Our kids were at the same school for a year and we know so many of the same people. The person I interviewed just before her today, turns out she knows her too. So without further ado, who are you, special guest?
Hi, I'm Claudia Garcia de la Huerta, and I am the Marketing and Communications Manager for the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. Brand new job, actually, that I just started. And before that, I was the Program Director for Winnipeg's Classic 107.
And we know somebody the same at Classic 107 too, Christopher Wolf.
That station would not run without Christopher Wolf. He is the heart and soul and the musical brains behind everything people hear on Winnipeg's Classic 107. Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, and it's really cool to see how Winnipeg's Classic 107 is getting involved with the Manitoba band community.
It's a really important part of what they do there because they are the future of not just classical music, but jazz music and just music in general. It's creating that love of music and how important it is in your life, whatever role it may take.
So why don't you tell us about your life in band, your Claudia life as a middle schooler, or I guess back in our day it was junior high.
Yeah. I loved band. I took up the flute, as you said earlier, and it's such a beautiful instrument. It started at John Pritchard School with Mr. Castira, and it was just such a great experience in my life, learning another language, which is the language of music. It gave me a lot of confidence. It taught me how to think in a different way. That's one of the great things about music. It's such a creative and different way of seeing things through musical notes. And I think for me, the best memory I have of being in band, and I continued from grade 7 all the way through to grade 12, I'll never forget the goosebumps that I would get when we would have concerts and everything would come together and it would sound so great, and to know that we were doing this all together, each one of us, each note that we played was contributing to this beautiful music, and you can't help but feel proud and excited about what you're creating in the moment.
Who was your high school band teacher?
Uh, well, I had a few, right? I went to River East Collegiate, which has a great band program. Mr. Harvey was my high school teacher back then. And again, just another really lovely soul who gave me so much confidence. I remember when I would have spares, I would sometimes go in the band room and practice my flute, and he would let me, and he'd like open the door of the band room so that other people could hear me playing, and it was just a really nice feeling to be given that opportunity and that space to just sort of sometimes I think I use it as a way to calm my brain down a little bit, just to reset. And high school is never easy for anybody. And for me, that was my refuge, that band room and being able to play my music. Yeah, so great memories.
Isn't it incredible how we forget so many things about when we were in school, but those teachers who made us feel that way, you never forget that.
No. They don't realize, or maybe they do, but maybe we don't give them enough credit for how much they do for us during these really pivotal years in our lives, the role that they play. And yeah, Mr. Harvey's right up there in my list of great teachers.
So are there any skills that you think being in band taught you that you use in your adult life?
I think a lot of skills, one, discipline, because there was a lot of practice involved being a part of the band. Teamwork. I know a lot of people think of athletics when you talk about teamwork and discipline, but I think band is no different from that because everyone is counting on everyone to learn their parts and to listen to each other while we're playing. It also taught me to look at things from a different perspective. To me, music is another language, and the more languages you know, whether it's verbal languages like French or Spanish or what have you, I think it helps you to broaden your mind as to how you see the world from those different perspectives. And it's given me my love of music. I mean, if you would have asked me or told me back then that one day I would be, program director at a classical music radio station or working for the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, I wouldn't have believed them. And I can't believe how much I still remember from those classes. And that has helped me in what I do for my job every day. We talk about band teachers, but one teacher that I really remember, and maybe you remember her too, Joanne, Ms. Clark.
Our grade 8 teacher.
Oh, see, she wasn't a homeroom teacher for me, but I remember Ms. Clark just letting us all, for her class, we would all come into the room and she would just play classical music, and we would all have to sit in a different spot in the room and just listen, which at the time was, as a kid, I always thought, like, why are we doing this? I mean, it's nice and everything, but you didn't realize at the time how much or how wonderful that experience was to really open up your mind and to the works of classical music. We didn't know what we were listening to at the time, but to me, that was one of the most wonderful gifts any teacher gave me, was just that experience to sit and listen to classical music.
That's beautiful. I had no idea that she was doing that with other classes.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
So, big question for you. Do you still play an instrument?
I do not. I have a 13-year-old daughter who started off in the band program in middle school, and she plays the flute, and she actually played the violin. We had her in private lessons before middle school, and at least I could help her. I would grab my flute and I would go through the notes with her. And again, one of those things that I never thought that I would still remember, but I do, and was of a big help to her when she was trying to learn the instrument and learn music. So I was very happy that I could help her with that. But yeah, no, I don't play anymore.
But you still have your flute.
I still have it. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's the special part of my life, so I'll never give it up. I probably shouldn't be playing on it anymore. But
No. You know what? One day we'll do a virtual duet.
All right, you're on. You're probably a lot better than me, though.
Oh, stop. It's just lots of fun. Love it, love it, love it. So do you have any other words of advice for people at this weird time? There's going to be students watching as well as some other educators. Any little Claudia words of wisdom?
I think just don't put so much pressure on yourself to have to accomplish things or do things. This is something that none of us have ever been through. Just try to deal with it the best that you can and find joy and happiness in the little things. I know spending this amount of time with your family can be a bit stressful, but find those activities that you all enjoy, and just take this time to sort of, catch up on those books and spend that time with your family. Don't forget about your friends. The wonderful thing about going through something like this is the technology that we have, right? That we can FaceTime, that we can Zoom, that we can keep those relationships up. But yeah, more or less just chill and go with the flow, and don't put all this pressure on yourself to do the things that you think you should be doing to keep yourself busy.
Thank you for bringing so much extra joy and happiness into my day today and spending time with me. It's been great to reconnect with you.
And to you too, Joanne. It's always lovely to see you. This was really fun. Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day, Claudia.
Bye.
Bye.